Great to be with y'all as always, and appreciate the opportunity to be able to talk about my favorite subject, and that is how to bring people to Louisiana and enjoy the many things that we sometimes take for granted. I'm going to do something a little bit differently today. We've got a PowerPoint, and so we dim the lights a little bit, so go through a few slides as I go through this presentation. Obviously, we start with the discussion about the bicentennial, which is fast upon us. The anniversary of statehood is on April 30th of 2012, which is going to be a tremendous weekend for the state of Louisiana. And let me just review for you what's going to take place over those several days. On April 28th, which is a Saturday, we will have a Louisiana homecoming celebration in the footprint that is normally used for the Louisiana Book Festival on the grounds of the state capitol. It'll be an opportunity for all areas of the state to be represented with food and music that are indigenous to that particular part of the state. And we've had tremendous response and cooperation from the Convention and Visitors Bureaus across the state, and literally every region of the state will be represented with a variety of food and a wonderful list of entertainment, all free to the public. And we're hoping that people from all over Louisiana will descend on Baton Rouge for that weekend to enjoy a Louisiana homecoming as we kick off the bicentennial of statehood. On that Sunday, April 29th, there'll be a series of musical events in downtown Baton Rouge. The Bicentennial Blues program will be held at the grounds of the old state capitol, featuring Luther Kent, Chris LeBlanc, the Tyree Neal Band, some great Louisiana blues artists for a Bicentennial Blues celebration. And then later that day at the Hollywood Casino will be a recognition of the many artists who've contributed to the Louisiana Bicentennial music CD. So it'll be a very musical day as a prelude to April 30th, which is the bicentennial of statehood. On that day will be a joint session of the legislature beginning at 1:30 that afternoon. We will welcome a number of distinguished Louisianians who have added luster to the light of Louisiana. Several guests will be joining us who have confirmed, including James Carville, Cokie Roberts, we hope Faith Ford, and several other Louisiana luminaries will be recognized during that joint session of the legislature. In addition, we've invited all the former governors and lieutenant governors of this state to join us for the celebration. We also will welcome Madame Monique Gagnon-Tremblay, who is the Minister of International Relations and Francophone Affairs for Quebec. We've had a great relationship with Quebec. Since I've been Lieutenant Governor, I was there for a festival last year. We helped sponsor a major musical event at the Winterfest in Quebec, and Madame Tremblay is going to join us to discuss economic opportunities between Louisiana and Quebec, as well as to be a part of our commemorative celebration. As you know, there's no state money in the bicentennial. Fortunately, we had some funds from BP available that we were able to earmark out of the money made available to the Office of Tourism, so we've put $500,000 into the bicentennial effort. The Commission has done an outstanding job of raising money in the private sector so that we have a respectable budget. Just by way of comparison, though, when we celebrated the bicentennial of the Louisiana Purchase, the state funded that bicentennial to the tune of about $5 million in state money. Compared to our bicentennial celebration, which is really operating on a shoestring, and one that fortunately has been made available through these BP funds and through the private sector. But we're nonetheless going to have a tremendous year-long celebration. This one single day, of course, is the commemorative day where Louisiana entered the Union as the 18th state and the first state from the Louisiana Purchase. But events are taking place all across the state throughout this year, and we'll have some very exciting activities to announce in the not-too-distant future that will highlight Louisiana music as a major part of our bicentennial celebration. Most of you know we have also embarked on a very ambitious educational program to tie into the bicentennial at no additional cost, using staff that we have available within our Office of Culture, Recreation, and Tourism. We've developed an educational program that's been made available to every school in the state of Louisiana. Every homeschooler, every private, parochial, and public school has been given the opportunity to access an outstanding teacher resource to teach about the bicentennial. And in order to take advantage of that from a tourism standpoint, we're going to be launching a program called Travel Louisiana First in the course of the next several months, where hopefully before the summer, where we'll tie in the opportunity to visit historic Louisiana sites based upon the educational program that have been made available to students during the school year. It'll basically be a historic trail throughout Louisiana to see some of the important places and understand some of the important people who have shaped Louisiana's history for these 200 years. We can only spend 10% of our tourism budget on in-state efforts, which makes sense. We want to target most of our efforts outside of Louisiana, but we can spend up to 10% in-state, and so we won't spend anywhere near 10% to promote this, this Travel Louisiana First program, but it's a way to make all Louisianians ambassadors for our state. And the more that they become familiar with Louisiana's history and culture, the better prepared they will be to sell our state to people who are potentially visiting us. So the bicentennial year has given us a great opportunity to showcase the things that we often take for granted. It's also created some tourism opportunities for us. We don't have quite as much money as we would like to have to be able to market the bicentennial as a reason for people to come here, but we certainly have included the bicentennial celebration in everything that we're doing to market the state throughout 2012.